Hey, y'all. Welcome to SLOP. I'm your friendly neighborhood organizer, Austin, and I'm here tonight with Red Mike.
Hello, comrades.
And yeah, this is one of the only socialist podcasts in Alabama and the most unprofessional podcast in the land, maybe the world, definitely the known universe, something like that. But yeah, it's good to have y'all. We're premiering tonight on Facebook. We'll see how that goes. If it works. Of course, we're on YouTube. Y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Slop the word of the year. So I guess that makes us podcast of the year. Am I
I guess
right?
so.
Is that the
I think
logic?
so. I'm
Yeah.
claiming it. We're the
Yes.
podcast of the year, according to Merriam-Webster.
Yes, sir. And yeah, we on this show we do a little national news, international news, try to have a little fun with some trends and a little culture that's going on. There's a lot of lists, a lot of end of the year lists going on. I got another one we'll probably look at the end here. Um, but yeah, let's see what's going on with trends. Oh, where are you? Whoops. Where are you, little buddy? I know, puppy. As soon as I start doing this, the dog wants some attention. Boom, boom. All right. Oh my goodness. You're gonna have to sit, dog. Yeah, we got what? We got Bongino here. He's gonna be going back to podcasting. Welcome back to the club, buddy. In January, of course, Venezuela. Got a blockade going on down there. I think we're going to talk a little bit about that later. Jack Smith on got to testify privately to Congress, to a subcommittee or a committee, one of the two. I think there's some Bitcoin's been shorted and now it's rising back again. All kinds of things going on. I don't know what the Indiana Bears. I ain't heard of that team. She's 80. Yeah. Okay. Puka, a receiver with I think the Rams, talking about all the refs. You know, that's never a good idea if you're a player. They're probably going to fine him for that. Oh, look, is the oh no, that's about the Brown shooting and no shooting in Australia. Oh, he's
Trump is currently addressing the nation as we speak.
And
I've got it playing live.
11 dead, 29 badly wounded. And that was an anti-Semitic attack, obviously. And I just want to pay my respects to everybody.
Yeah.
I must say in Syria also, we had an attack in Syria. And we had 3 great patriots terminated by bad people. And not the Syrian government. It was ISIS. The Syrian government fought by our side. The new president fought by our side. But I just want to pay my respects to the families.
Without the ones like you working tirelessly to keep.
Yeah, that's enough of that. Thank you, Granger. Sponsor us. Yeah, Blazing Saddles. Oh my goodness, dog. Y'all, this is why we're professionals.
Yeah, the most professional podcast in the land, if not the known universe. So yeah, Trump is currently addressing the nation. I'm keeping an eye on the speech. We're probably not going to play it live. You can watch it on repeat if you're listening to us, or you can watch us. You can watch Trump and watch us later. Either way. But I'll probably check in and mention the highlights as they come in live from the various news sources I'm plugged into.
Yeah, my partner, she's pretty pissed off because it's ruining her Wednesday Survivor, the Great Race, back-to-back double header that she usually enjoys. But let's see here.
So far, he's just rambling about all the stuff he's done this past year.
I've been well, none of it good. None of it good. I can't think of one good thing he's done this year. So Merry Christmas, y'all. There's our boy Zach D Films, top of the charts as always on little YouTube stuff. I got some Wife and Lucci. Have not heard of them, but they're trending on some music. I did see, where is that? There's a new Avengers coming out next December. That's this feels like how elections go. They start a year out. We're already getting ads for this movie. It's like, dude, I don't need to know a year out. Like that's way too long. I might be dead in a year.
Yeah, might be in El Salvador.
Might be watching it in Seacott. Let me have like 90 days. That's max I need.
Well, Pam Bondi has directed the FBI to offer cash bounty for promoters of radical gender ideology, among other things. So pretty sure someone's going to put out a bounty on me or get paid a bounty for me. So extreme views in favor of mass migration, open borders, check. Anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, or anti-Christianity. Well, not anti-Christianity. Hostility towards traditional views on family, religion, and morality. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. I wouldn't say hostility. Hostility is a strong word. Critical. I would say,
live and let live. Like where's
exactly.
that? Where's the free market of relationships? How about that? Yeah, and anti-capitalism, sure.
Yeah, anti-capitalism for sure.
Yeah,
So,
if you like licking the boots of rich folks, well, this ain't the place for you. Let's be clear.
So it's only a matter of time before we get turned in.
Yeah. Well, I guess when we get there, we can just organize it.
I know, right?
Pitt season 2, it did so well. It's already got another season coming out. Good for them. I've heard good things about it. I've never really watched medical shows.
I'm not a big TV viewer, so I'm kind of behind the loop when it comes to TV.
This hurt a little bit. So Stranger Things came out, but it will like I got hoodwinked, dog. Like there were only 4 episodes, and then it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna release a couple more on Christmas, and then a couple more on what is it, New Year's Eve. I'm like, what? I wanted to binge it, and so we're back in a holding pattern. Tricked me. What else we got? We got some news and politics. Videos about what happened down in Australia. FIFA and giving the Peace Prize to Mr. To Mumps. We got Mumps back. Measles is back. Is Mumps back yet?
Probably. It's only a matter of time.
I got some other silly things. It's crazy seeing some of these just ridiculous videos that folks say in the comments and all this. This video here, I'm not exactly sure what happened. Is Kennedy, one of that Louisiana Kennedy,
Yeah.
93 billion went to the Department of Energy in the last 76 days of Biden's administration. I'm not sure exactly where it went, but that doesn't seem ridiculous on a level. If he was trying to upgrade the energy grid, which understood being part of what he was trying to do. So something to look into. But of course, Mr. Rob Reiner, what an incredible talent. Passed, well, not, he didn't pass away, but him and his wife getting murdered by apparently his son. Horrible. But do you know how many movies that man made?
It was quite a few, but he
that-
made some just classic films: The Princess Bride, A Few Good
Yes.
Men. Just great films for people who love movies.
Yeah. I looked back over the list, and I was just like shocked at how many he did. I mean, I knew The Princess Bride, but then I forgot about all these other ones he did. But yeah, so that is what's on the trends right now, and I think we're gonna get into where we're getting into our fine news director.
Oh, am I the news director?
Yeah, that's your title now, news director.
Okay, well, so I was reading this poll today that say 63% of Americans oppose U.S. military action in Venezuela. So a clear majority of Americans say they oppose the United States taking military action against Venezuela. This is happening in the backdrop of Trump ordering a blockade around the country of oil tankers. So the numbers break down as only 25% say they support it. So I guess there's a number of undecideds or unknowns. So Democrats overwhelmingly said they're against it at 89%, followed by 68% of independents and 33% of Republicans. So only 33% of Republicans are opposed to regime change and war in Venezuela, which I heard a lot of leftist friends of mine who were bamboozled by Trump claiming to be a peace candidate. People who put a high priority on foreign policy were like, "Oh, well, Hillary Clinton will definitely bomb various countries, but Trump won't." And I was like, "Really? A Republican won't bomb other places? Like, I don't believe that." So I think a few people that I know were taken in by that. Maybe you don't know any tankies in real life. I unfortunately do. So I know a couple. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what is it like if you want folks and like if you want the queer furry mecha suits, like we need those tankies, yeah.
Right.
What would it be? What's a good name for that? I don't know. I don't know.
I got nothing.
I'll help us out in the comments.
Yeah, exactly. So 53% said they opposed the U.S. attacks on alleged drug smugglers on boats in international waters. So Democrats, again, at 89% say they oppose it, followed by 57% of independents and just 14% of Republicans. So the Republican Party has gone off the deep end when it comes to warmongering and saber rattling, and the majority of the American people aren't with them. So, and that includes a majority of independents.
And also, if you like really care about, quote unquote, the war on drugs, that ain't the way to fix it. The way to fix it is a thriving wage, housing, healthcare, all these other things, decriminalizing and legalizing stuff. That's how you really fix these issues, not bombing fishermen.
And I also, I want to reiterate a point that I made last week, in that the drugs are not coming from Venezuela. Like,
Right.
there's all this talk about Venezuela being a quote unquote narco terrorist state. That is a lie on par with weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Like, it is a
Right.
complete fabrication. The U.S. military and intelligence services um, even say so themselves. So in 2024, the United States Drug Enforcement Administration's National Drug Threat Assessment doesn't even mention Venezuela. Instead, it mentions Peru, Colombia, and Bolivia. So, one from 2020, another DEA threat assessment concluded that only 8% of cocaine trafficking departs from Venezuela and goes through the Caribbean, while a whopping 74% leaves from the area of Colombia and Ecuador and passes to the Pacific. And I just read that from an article in Current Affairs, currentaffairs.org, which is an interesting magazine. It's sort of strange. Like, I read Current Affairs, I think they have good analysis. But once upon a time, a couple of years ago, the workers at Current Affairs tried to organize the magazine as a cooperative, and the editor-in-chief, who was supposed to be a dedicated socialist, fired them all. So don't give them your money. Like, don't subscribe to their magazine. But I make some special pleading case with myself for reading it. It was like, I really like their analysis, but I just don't want to give Nathan Robinson any money after what he pulled, firing his workers when they tried to organize.
What a just well, he's full of shit, ain't he?
Yeah, he's one of these bow tie wearing nerds too.
Would you call him a champagne socialist?
You might call him something. I don't know if you can call somebody a socialist if they fire workers for trying to organize.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, champagne socialist. It definitely is not the right term. But yeah,
So
full of shit is.
yeah, so I wouldn't give them any money, but I do enjoy reading the magazine. Maybe I shouldn't. I always feel like I'm crossing a picket line every time I go to the website. But like I said, their analysis is really good, and I find it to be very helpful. I just recommend not giving them your money.
You were saying that like 25% support this action against Venezuela. And I was made me think about Iraq, because this is the same grift over again. And it looks like that between 47 and 60% favored action back in the day, back in like 2002. So
Yeah,
it's
it's a little bit hard. Like, I understand people who were lied to in 2003 and thought, oh, the government's not lying to us, and we can make a difference here. I can see why people could feel that way in the lack of any historical counterfactuals. Now, I oppose the Iraq War. I saw it as a sham from the start. I got into politics opposing the Iraq War. That was the first time I ever went to a protest and things like that. It was because of the Iraq War. And so I've been beating my head against that wall ever since. But on this side of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, to fall for the same playbook again, like, I'm a lot less sympathetic.
Yeah. Well, and it looks like a lot of people honestly see what's going down and get it. We've been at basically constantly at war for over 25 years, probably close to 30 years now, technically.
Right.
Different actions like Bosnia, et cetera, et cetera. So
A lot of people voted for Trump based on opposition to forever wars. And Trump himself even made some noises about that. But I never thought that he meant it.
no,
And it turns out that clearly I hate to say, well, look at me, I was right. But I feel like I happen to be right about this. I never trusted him, never believed that he was a serious anti-war candidate. Certainly not. When you vote for somebody, you're voting for the constellation of people around them too. And the constellation of people around any Republican candidate is going to include these warmongering ghouls. So and I knew that they would be able to pressure him into doing things, and so far they have. So, and I just, not only, I just want to finish up the point I was making earlier. Not only is almost none of the cocaine coming out of Venezuela, but none of the fentanyl is. Like, fentanyl is not manufactured in Venezuela. There is not a drop or whatever unit you use to measure fentanyl, not a gram of it coming out of Venezuela. So when they say, I mean, that's according to Rand Paul, that's according to senior officials giving anonymous quotes to Drop Site News. Um, if this were really about drugs, there are plenty of other countries that would be in the crosshairs before Venezuela.
Yeah, and one of the things that the people who actually mostly do the trafficking are 80% Americans, and most of that is done through airports and air travel as well. So
There's a really good book by journalist Seth Harp called The Fort Bragg Cartel that recently came out. And it's about U.S. soldiers and their involvement in drug smuggling. So,
yeah, special operations guys, right?
I haven't read the book.
It's on my list. But they work hand in hand with the CIA, which has a rich history of basically creating the modern international drug trade from everything that I've gathered. There's been a few movies about it, even. I think Air America,
Right.
was that Downey and Gibson, I believe, were in it. So yeah, it's rich history to look into.
Yeah. So if you oppose war in Venezuela, you are in the majority. If you oppose the bomb strikes against these boats without any kind of due process, you're in the majority. It is the MAGA chuds who are in the minority on this issue. So take heart with that. I mean, I don't know what we can actually do to stop it. We had the largest protests in the world up to that point in time in order to stop the Iraq War, and the Iraq War happened like we weren't even there. And I dare say that if there's going to be a war in Venezuela, it's going to happen over our objections. And I don't know what we could actually do short of a general strike to stop it.
Yeah. We've seen, and we've seen some things like in Italy recently, them doing general strikes in support of folks in Palestine, which have an effect. So it constantly goes back to wielding our collective power, and typically, is wielding it through a general strike, which this country is not, the working class is not unified enough to be able to execute that.
Right.
Yet.
There's a lot of organization that has to come into place, which is why it's vital to join organizations that are working to organize the working class, like DSA, which this podcast is an official podcast of the North Alabama Democratic Socialists of America. There are unions you can join.
Yep.
And you can and should do both of those things.
Yeah. We got a lot of work to do, connecting with each other, building infrastructure and support systems. But it can be done. It's been done before. When the working class fights, we win. Oh, we got to get in there, folks. So yeah. And something else with the Venezuela stuff is, in my opinion, is, we see how it mirrors Iraq, with the WMDs of fentanyl and whatnot. But
right.
also with that is with the new national security strategy document that came out, looking at play on the Monroe Doctrine and everything. Really, you can foresee, if you read the tea leaves a little bit, that regional destabilization is probably where they're headed. There's already a follow-on plan for Colombia. And of course, there's, folks in Brazil that Trump ain't too fond of. So you could make an argument that destabilizing South America, using Argentina to also help with that stuff is in play.
So yeah, the war is clearly about Venezuela's oil reserves, which are larger than even Saudi Arabia's oil reserves. And Trump has made no secret of this. He's claimed that Venezuela has stolen oil, land, and other assets from America, which is just batty. Simply not true. Simply, I mean, just false on its face. And it drives me wild that the media, and I hate to be too critical of the media, but they'll say, "Oh, well, Trump's claimed that Venezuela has stolen U.S. assets," but they won't say this is a blatant lie.
Right. Yeah, like they're just tools for the rich folks. They won't even hint at it. They just go along to get along and whatnot. And you see further consolidation of, media by the Ellisons, all these billionaires, Bezos with the Post, all this stuff. They just keep consolidating and buying up anything that's out there. I mean, there used to be thousands upon thousands of local newspapers and media outlets and stuff like that. And now everything is just consolidated. We got,
there's like 6 companies that own everything that you watch.
Yeah. And none of them are worker co-ops.
So apparently, even in the socialist magazines, if you try to do that, they'll fire you.
Yeah. Oh, standard operating procedure.
Yep.
So
it is true that Venezuela nationalized its oil sector in the 70s.
yeah,
But as far as I'm concerned, they had every right to do so. That oil belongs to the people of Venezuela, and they deserve to use it for the benefit of the people of Venezuela. And it turns out that the world's resources are not there for Americans and only Americans.
Yeah.
So, there is plenty of criticism to draw of the Venezuelan state. Maduro did rig the last election. I think that's hard to argue against. If it wasn't stolen, it certainly did fall off a truck. It was very shady, to say the least. There are human rights abuses in Venezuela. None of this gives America the right to attack them. Certainly, it doesn't give America the right to claim any of the Venezuelan people's property.
Yeah. Even with that, I think we said last week, Maduro, offered up terms, offered to leave office, offered, oil. But
a sweetheart deal. It was a sweetheart deal. Let me see if I can find the exact terms.
And that was, I think, in October, he offered all that. So now we're here almost Christmas. And now we got a blockade in place. Now we got tankers being seized. And it's just going to escalate.
Right.
As there's nothing fundamentally stopping. I think I saw something about Putin is trying to talk to Trump to talk him down from all this. Maybe that'll work.
Maybe so.
Putin the peacemaker. Maybe that's the play. Maybe we don't invade Venezuela and Russia leaves the Ukraine. Maybe that's what happens.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Neither do I.
Russia for centuries has seen Ukraine as its own personal backyard, the same way that America sees Latin America as its backyard.
Yeah.
It can do whatever it wants down there. And that was Soviet policy. It was Imperial Russian policy. It was, it's been centuries of mistreatment of Ukraine by Russia.
Yeah. They've had, like, since the 1700s at least, like a policy of like Russification of Ukraine.
Right. And other places like Belarus, where they've largely succeeded, where Belarusians are a minority in their own country. And the Belarusian language is in bad shape compared to Russian.
Yeah.
So the exact terms. So on October the 10th, Maduro offered this deal to Trump to open up all existing and future oil and gold projects to American companies, give preferential contracts to American businesses, reverse the flow of Venezuelan oil exports from China to the United States, and slash his country's energy and mining contracts with Chinese, Iranian, and Russian firms, quote unquote. That's from the New York Times.
You can't get much better than that.
So that's a pretty sweet deal. And Trump rejected this deal, because he wants to be the strong arm guy and go down there and take it. He doesn't want to be given the oil. He wants to take it and be seen taking it.
And it's just, yeah. He's supposed to be a good businessman. That's not a good business plan. Because it's definitely going to cost lives on both sides. And it's
Venezuela has a semi-modern military with an army and a navy and an air force, and they've already flown F-35s over American aircraft carriers. Like it's not like the idea that we're going to, obviously I think we would win a fight with Venezuela, but the idea that we would do it without much in the way of casualties,
no,
I'm a little bit skeptical of.
No.
And as soon as there are American casualties, especially in any significant degree, like the howling for bloodshed is going to be even greater.
I don't think people appreciate how difficult an amphibious landing is. You can look back to them in, Africa and Italy and, France and all the island hopping, all that during World War II, and just get a little bit of understanding that it's not easy. And, I would say that our capabilities back then were much better than they are now. And, there's already, they got 500,000 people prepared to fight in the cities and the jungles and the mountains. And it's just a ridiculous endeavor all around. But it's clearly not about a good business deal. It's about the Prince of Peace going and getting his stamp on something, probably trying to leverage that into a national emergency to call off elections, and which, that's not something like there's some, people talk about how Ukraine, there haven't been elections, but like that's in their constitution. Whereas even during the Civil War, there were elections. During World War II, there was elections. Oh, What up, Uncle Warren? Good to see you. I missed your show earlier today. I got busy. Y'all check him out. Thank you for showing up, dog.
So Trump has finished his remarks. He only spoke for 18 minutes, and he doesn't seem to have mentioned Venezuela at all. He mostly talked about the border being closed and hyped up his economic policies, including his tax cuts. And that was pretty much it. Like, mostly he spoke about domestic issues.
Yeah, the 0.8% tax cut that expires in like 3 years for the working class. Thanks for that. Oh, we brought drug prices down 0.6 of a percentage point.
Right.
That seems like a rounding error versus anything.
So yeah, that's basically all I had prepared about Venezuela. Maduro made comments earlier today saying that Trump's comments on the land and oil reveal his true motives. Like he says, quote unquote, it is simply a warmongering and colonialist pretense. And we have said so many times, and now everyone sees the truth. The truth has been revealed. Maduro said during a speech in Caracas Wednesday, that according to CNN.com.
There you go. Well, with that, there's I think there's so much to talk about. We could get into just kind of, we got Stephen Miller backing up all that, rhetoric about Venezuela. Susie Wiles came out with some wild remarks, which she had to say were taken out of context. I think she called Trump operates like an angry alcoholic, which is funny since apparently he's like supposed to be a teetotaler, although I'm sure he imbibes in other things. He's at least imbibing in dementia medicine, probably. The Tyler Robinson trial for the murder of Charlie Kirk, Luigi Mangione trial going on, so many things. A bill passed the House to criminalize parents and guardians and doctors for any transgender healthcare for 18 and under. There's a lot of stuff. Let's see here. Let me get this guy here. Fox News had some polls. And we'll just kind of look at those real quick. Here we go. Yeah. We've got personal financial situation, 11% getting ahead, 45% holding steady, 44% falling behind. And then the national economic conditions, 72% not so good or poor, with only 28% saying they are doing good. That falls in line with the 75% of people being paycheck to paycheck, where's the, here we go. Folks, this Keeping America First pledge, significant drop off. For some reason, 36% of Democrats in 2017 believed that he was going to put America first. And now it's down to 16%, 91 to 87%, pretty in line with the Republicans. And then significant, which, about 50% of voters consider themselves independent. And that's 62% down to 36%. So yeah, the shine is wearing off. Only took us a decade, folks. And then we got what folks are caring about: high prices, and then way next biggest with a big drop off is healthcare, then jobs and employment. I think we're at over 1.2 million jobs lost this year, and then the things that he like his you know go tos over here with immigration, tariffs, crime, and foreign policy, uh, and the deficit. Not that he's about to drive up by 5. He's totaled with all his efforts to put about $12 trillion onto the deficit. So yeah, this is what people are over here, and this is what he's touting that he's doing so well, and this is how much people give a shit about it. But yeah, this, again, inflation and high prices 90%, extremely very concerned. Price of healthcare 86%. Political divisions within the country 82%. Decline of moral values 75%. Crime and public safety 74, federal budget deficit 71, detentions and deportations by ICE 66, artificial intelligence 63, climate change 58, and it beats out illegal immigration at 57%. That's reporting from Fox News. Yeah. And they think he's focused on the wrong things.
Yeah, the latest AP North poll found that just 31% of Americans approve of how Trump is handling the economy. That is the lowest approval point of any point in his first or second term. So his numbers across the board are plummeting.
Yeah. As material conditions worsen, people are waking up, and those people that are waking up, we need to connect with them, recruit them, talk to them, convince them that there's a better way. And that way is socialism. Don't you want to own a company, folks? That's what it's about.
The company that you work for.
Yeah.
You know, if citizens get to vote for president and get to vote for the people who represent them, then why don't you get to vote for your boss at work? Why don't you get to vote for your CEO?
That's right.
Like, you spend more time at work than you do doing almost anything else. And
Yeah.
yet every workplace is a little dictatorship where you have the CEO as king, and bosses as various petty nobility. And instead we could have democratic systems in our workplaces. And that's what socialism is and means.
Yeah. If the workers at Amazon own Amazon, all of them would be worth like $1.5 million. Workers at NVIDIA would be worth $120 million each. I mean, if you got paid $120 million, wouldn't you keep that job? Wouldn't you like that job? That sounds like a pretty good job to me. Yeah. So, and yeah, there's folks in Alabama that can help you make a workers co-op. Shout out down oh god, I forgot the daggone name of the operation, but you hit us up on in the comments and the links and stuff. I can, if you're interested in more information, I can definitely get you squared away. So you say that's about it as far as national and international news. I think we're gonna slide on over to a little culture before we say goodnight. NPR, it's still around. Hasn't you know? I've got problems with the NPR, but you know, I do like their music podcast, and I do think some of their articles are good every now and then. But there's a plenty of distractions, out there in media. I don't know if you want to call it distractions. It's nice to enjoy things, right? Art, and definitely moving pictures is definitely can be art. Uh, we had we heard good things about the pit, like I said, but I
My
ain't
mom likes that show. My mom used to work in an ER, and she likes that show, so it must be good.
okay. I'll listen to mom on this. Haven't got a Frankenstein's up on Netflix. I'm wanting to check that out. Of course,
I love Guillermo del Toro, and I'm stunned that I haven't watched his movie yet, but I'll get to it eventually. I love his movie so much, so I'm sure I'll love Frankenstein.
yeah, Pan's Labyrinth, like
Was
during
one of my favorite movies.
during it was the Spanish Civil War, or was it right?
It was during the Spanish Civil War, yeah.
Yeah, where
most of his movie, a lot of his movies are set during the Spanish Civil War, or deal with the Spanish Civil War in some way.
okay, that's a big deal, and one of the countries where fascism took hold for a long time.
Yeah, until the 70s, until Franco died.
You got this House of Dynamite about a missile coming in. Catherine Bigelow. I didn't like that Hurt Locker movie she did, but she can shoot a movie. I'll say that. Like she's got like a good eye. But that's what I got to say about that. You heard of this Hamnet? This is
I haven't heard of it. Is it about William Shakespeare's son?
yes. That's what the gist is of that. And I heard good things about that too. Haven't heard of this one, Dying for Sex. But life's sex positive quest to finally achieve her first orgasm. All right, do it. Is it a comedy?
Do what you got to do.
It's a comedy. Perfect Neighbor. Haven't heard of that one. Oh wait, yes. I remember hearing about this article. But yeah, this lady killed, racist lady killed a mom, and for kids playing, basically, twinless. Haven't heard of that one. Well, I heard of that one, but I don't know what the hell it's about. But a support group for people that lost their twin. That could definitely be interesting. Pluribus. I want to watch this. It's from the Vince Gilligan. You ever watch Breaking Bad and all that?
I saw the very first episode of Breaking Bad, and I remember thinking, wow, this is one of the best TV shows I've ever seen in my life, and I never watched another episode.
Dude, you got to finish it.
I'm just not a TV guy. It's hard for me to get into TV shows.
Let's watch some TV together, live stream. We'll probably get banned for that, but I don't know. Better Call Saul. I need to finish that. Who's horror. Okay, I thought it was horror. Old Mansion. You gotta love some mansion as character, right? Haunted house type stuff. On Becoming a Guinea Fowl. No clue. Zambia man dies. His family takes part in a days-long act of mourning. Okay. Surrealistic drama. Marty Supreme. Timothy Chalamet playing a narcissistic ping pong champion based on a true story. Peter Huja's Day. I think this is like a recreation of a photography session that took place in the 70s. Mountainhead. This I want to watch. The Succession dude. He is billionaires hanging out while they plan the end of the world. Get your welding skills up, folks. Be able to weld a steel door shut. It'll come in handy. Wake Up Dead Man. We watched this. You a Benoit Blanc fan? You watched any of the Knives Out movies?
I haven't.
Oh man, do you like murder mysteries?
I do.
Then you'll love them. There's 3 of them now. And there's another one we watched earlier. I think it's mentioned down here. Haven't heard of any of these. But hey, sure, I'll give them a go. What's this?
The voice of Hind Rajab. That's the Rajab. That's the young girl. I almost said young woman, but she was like a 4-year-old girl, 6-year-old girl. Who was killed in Palestine during the recent attack, during the recent war. So
Ooh,
I'd be interested in seeing that, but it's probably a difficult watch.
yeah. Well, if you watch it, you'll probably get put on the list.
Well, I'm already on that list. We've already said that.
You see that lady? She was talking this that they're tracking everybody, and you're not going to be able to get a nanny or a husband or a wife or a job or any of that. She was, I think she was at the embassy down in D.C., the Israeli embassy, making that speech.
Wow.
What else we got? Alien Earth. I love the Alien movies. I haven't got to see any of this show though. Blue Moon, about the night Oklahoma opened. Okay. Another Ethan Hawke here, Ethan Hawke up here. Sentimental Value. Victorian home, the family for generations kept in dynamic froth. Good performances, apparently. Haven't heard any of these. Sorry, baby. No other film and universal language. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Park Chan Wook. This sounds good right here. Middle manager at a paper company, comedy, horror, thriller. Okay. You like Saturday Night Live? You've a viewer?
I used to be. Like, its seasons are hit or miss. It depends on who they've got in the cast.
Yeah.
It's very hit or miss for me.
I mean, I've always loved SNL, but growing up watching it and everything, so it still has a spot in my heart, even though sometimes it's. But I always like the the cold openings of they always do the current administration. I always appreciate those little scenes. The Studio, highly recommend that shit. Like, it's hard for me to laugh nowadays, y'all. And this show made me laugh, so I do recommend. It was just an accident. Not sure on that one, but a furious indictment of the reign of authoritarian terror that grips Iran. Authoritarianism everywhere, folks, not just here. I'm thoroughly convinced that the world is ran by deranged babies, effectively rich deranged babies.
I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. The Traitor season 3. I've heard this is great. We got what's his face? This guy. I can't remember. It's the British guy. He's the British guy. Secret Agent. I heard good things about. Always like a good spy movie. One Battle After Another, classic. Got to see this in the theater. I made a record this year. I think I saw like 3 movies in the theater. Before that, I probably hadn't seen 3 movies in 5 years in a theater. But really good movie, classic, instant classic. Paul Thomas Anderson. Pee Wee Herman as himself. Biography. I'll check that out. Sinners, have not got to see that yet, but again, heard good things. Ron Coogler. If you haven't watched his movies, he makes great movies.
Sinners was a great movie. It really was good.
You did get to see it, okay?
I did get to see that one.
Task. I just
It
heard of
came on HBO Max, and that's where I watched it, and it was really good.
maybe I do HBO for a month and then just binge everything that's on there. Task. Not really heard of this one, but it's also on HBO, isn't it? But hey, Mark Ruffalo, he's a pretty good actor. I really liked Zodiac with him.
He's
That right?
also, he's kind of a liberal, but he's on the right side of most political battles.
Yeah. Most people are. It's just their economics are bad. A lot of people, their human rights stuff is good, but then their economics are bad. Severance season 2. If you haven't watched Severance, it's fantastic. Really, if they could run things like this, they certainly would. Blue Lights, haven't got to see. Like if I watch cop shows, it's usually like, I don't know why, it's like British cop shows. I don't really watch like all the American cop shows. Zodiac Killer Project. I watch all like Zodiac Killer stuff. I think I saw a recent one that like made a real convincing argument about the suspect that's been done many times, Arthur Lee Anderson, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his last wrong name. Started watching Andor season 2, but I didn't want to watch it alone, so I'm still in pause on that. Weapons, I heard, is good. This is a guy from The Whitest Kids You Know, one of the guys that used to be on that show. And apparently his other show, Barbarian, was really good. So got a couple to watch there. Adolescence, I heard this is or a good watch as well. About a 13-year-old who accused of murdering his classmate. Train Dreams, haven't heard of that, but hey, all our Train fans out there, yeah. And it's got a Terrence Malick mode. All right. Jay Kelly, Noah Baumbach's great contribution. George Clooney apparently playing himself, I've heard. Lurker, ain't heard of that one. But a uncomfortably cringy psychological thriller.
Oh, I can't watch the uncomfortable, cringy stuff. I watched like an episode of The Office, and it was more than I could bear. I can't watch the cringy stuff.
Come See Me in the Light, a documentary. About cancer. We got Murderbot here. I've watched a couple of episodes of this. One of the Skarsgårds. So many Skarsgårds. They're like a little clan. And I like this. I've seen like 3 episodes. This is the other murder mystery that I really like this year, The Residents. I want to see a Cordelia Cup and Benoit Blanc team up. They might have a second season, but it was really good, really fun. I think that's about it. Haven't seen Superman.
I went to the theater and saw it. It was pretty cute. It wasn't like high cinema or anything, but it was cute for what it was. It was a good comic book movie.
Oh, I will. We talked about that Marvel movie coming out. I'm a sucker for comic book movies. I don't care. I will be watching them. But I definitely want to see this. I really like that Batman one with Pattinson.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, I like that one. I did. And then we got Long Story Short, the BoJack Horseman folks. I've seen some BoJack Horseman. I liked it. And High Horse, the Black Cowboy. This is from Jordan Peele. Why don't we know more about Black Cowboys? And it looks like, yeah, biography, history, documentary. Yeah, the I think the first film recording, right? I think that was a black cowboy on that horse, if I remember correctly. But yeah, history is much richer than you think, folks.
That's right.
They barely hit the highlights in your history books.
And some of the things they told you were nonsense.
Yeah, most of it.
There's a great book called Lies My Teacher Told Me that talks about, among other things, how the South kind of won the propaganda war of the Civil War and how there was a lot of pro-Confederate propaganda in modern American history books.
Yeah.
And that's the tip of the iceberg for some of the things you learned in history that may not have been true.
And
So
it certainly seems like the Nazis kind of won World War II in a strange way, considering where everything is nowadays.
it's not they lost the war, but they somehow won the propaganda side of things. Now there's a lot of people calling themselves fascists running around loose, unpunched in the face. Tragically,
yeah, I'm a fascist.
Tragically unpunched in the face, which
Yeah.
they all should be.
Well, folks, I think that is all for tonight. Look at us getting tighter. We appreciate y'all hanging out. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Look in the description box down there. There's a survey trying to figure out working class policies for candidates in this state to run on, working class candidates, and what's important to voters out there. That means you. And yeah, check that out. Also check out Robert Hunter, officially endorsed by our chapter, running for office out in House District 28 against Mac Butler. He's got a good chance, folks. You can donate and volunteer for his candidacy out there. And yeah, you got anything else?
I think that's it for me.
All right. Well, folks, thank you so much for sharing your precious time with us. We hope to see you again soon. We'll be back Sunday for Cornbread and Roses, which is news about Alabama, what's going on. You might see us in between there, maybe talking an article or two. We're trying to do this more often and keep folks up to date and informed. So, yeah. And hey, as we like to say around here, all the power to all the people. We, the people, break our chains together. Solidarity forever, y'all.
Solidarity forever.